All right, let's call the meeting to order, Tuesday, August 1st, 2023, joint green efforts. We do not have a quorum at this point. But if there's any public or public comment, please raise your hand at this point. Garrett, I don't think we have anybody on, right?
I don't see anyone under attendees,
Okay,
so we're all good.
going once, going twice. All right. We don't have any presentations tonight. Without a quorum, we cannot approve the minutes. So we're gonna jump right to the anti-idling. I don't know, Sam, if you have anything to update. I know it's been 3 months since we've had a meeting and we were securing the signs, but I'm not sure if anything's happened with that yet.
Yeah, so we have the signs. They were distributed to each of the schools. It was, I think, maybe a week before school ended, and I put out the message that we try and get them up, before the end of the year. I know some schools, they were able to do that.
Yeah, I saw them at West District.
Yes, West District is one. I think Westwood's got one up. But yeah, but before the end of the summer, we'll make sure each of the schools have them up, except for the high school, which doesn't really make sense until we know what the traffic pattern is going to be and everything else.
And I saw too in the update that will be going out to families from the Board of Ed, that there's a reference to, they go through what all the different grades are doing. And for 5th grade, they talk about the anti-idling program and how it's helping our students be global citizens and contributors. So I thought that was pretty, it's about 2 pages about what they were doing, so.
Cool. Okay, who do we want to follow up with, Sam? I don't know, I'm sure we have just as much of an issue during the beginning of the school year as we do during the middle of the winter. But who do we want to talk to, or we want to just reach out and see if everything gets put in, or if we need to nudge a little bit at a couple of the schools?
No, what I'll do is I'll send a message to my head custodians and ask them to send me the photos of each of the locations of where they install it by, the week before school starts, and we'll go from there. That way if you want to see the photos, we'll share the photos too.
Okay.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do something in the newsletter too for people that don't have children in the school district.
Mhm.
I can find out when the date is. I'm assuming it's after our September meeting for the fall newsletter.
Okay. Perfect. All right, well, unless there's any other questions for Sam, we can move on to the littering signs and adopt the road. I know this has been here for a little bit, and I know we were going to dive in once we get in maybe a little bit more at the next meeting.
Yeah,
On the quorum, and see if we can't. The gist of it is we've got to kind of develop an idea of how this is going to work, and then once we have that, I think we can go through and figure out how to implement it. But I know this was an idea, Talia, you had, and then we're probably going back 5 or 6 months at this point, but it's been kind of just sitting there. So
so I did, in like a quick Google search, found at least 5 towns in Connecticut that have an Adopt the Road program. So I'll send out an email to the committee when I send out the minutes with a link to it's just that it's Mansfield, Avon, South Windsor, Ridgefield, and Coventry. It's just the link to their page. There's an ordinance that I'd have to pull from their code, which isn't that hard. But it's kind of a page about it, so I can send that out and people can start taking a look at that and gathering some information. I know there's 2 other towns I found that were Adopt a Spot for littering, which is like either a park. I think Newington is a park or a spot, like a traffic island or something like that, which I think probably not what we're looking at right now, but I have them bookmarked on my computer. So it's not that hard to just share, add them in if we want to take a look at those 2. And I'll put that in email.
on some exits coming off in Southington, you'll have a sign at the exit there. There's usually, like, especially if the exit ramp has an island or something that's manicured, it will have like "Welcome to Southington" or something like that, and it'll have like a business name underneath it.
That might be the state program. So there's a state program for state roads, because I think there's a state statute that a limited access highway cannot exit onto a local road. It has to be a state road,
Okay,
if I remember correctly. So the state has an adopted road program, especially if we'll use Southington as the example. I mean, they've got a lot of businesses there, so it's a pretty good idea to say for a business to just get their name up on a sign on the side of the highway, especially in the area they are.
and it could be twofold. It could be not just a little bit of a marketing thing. And, obviously if there are names there, they're gonna want to keep that road clean or that area clean. But it could also be something where it's $50 a year or $100 a year. You sell a dozen of these things and all of a sudden you have a small revenue source to green efforts.
Yeah,
That could be, because I don't, other than when the council gives us money or we get grants, I don't think we have a revenue stream of any means. I don't think we need a ton of money, but even if it was just small seed money and every year it reminds that company that they sponsored it and that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of thing I think we have to structure. Once you get those links out, Garrett, I think
yeah,
if you ever want to have just a a powwow or just a half hour quick, like go through and get some ideas and jot some stuff on paper, and then maybe we come up with a conceptual plan and see what the others think. We could do that.
yeah, that's no problem. And like I said, I'll send this out with the minutes, so that way everyone on the committee has it, not just everyone that's here tonight. And we can, people can start looking at it and picking out what they like and what they don't like. And go from there.
Awesome. Anything else? All right, any other business?
I've removed composting from the agenda. That's because a lot of towns are doing a pilot program through state grants right now, so I'm just gonna wait and see how those go through, and what the results of those are, and then we'll see. I'll add it back on once that's done. I'm sure there'll be some more information afterwards.
And you saw the email I sent maybe like a week or two ago about the state sustainable CT waste thing that I'm going to.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Weapon, yeah, that's Thursday, yep.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Anything else anybody wants to share? Or we all want to go back to having wine and enjoying the weather?
I gotta go home. I'm still at the office.
All right, well, again, then thank you guys for jumping in last minute. I mean, I know it's the middle of the summer or whatever, so if there's nothing else, then can I get a motion to adjourn?
And we can't vote.
That's true. So I guess I'll see you guys at the next meeting.
Declaration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
all right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.